going live. Everybody, we're going live. Well, the dog just we give the dog a greenie before we record, and she just look at her. She just carried it upstairs and then ran downstairs, jumped on the couch, ran around. She has a new bed that she can bury shit in because she's a barrier, and she is now burying her treats in the forest recesses of her new bed. She
parkoured from the top of the stairs.
Yeah.
To the couch, to the bed. I give her a 9.
Yeah.
9.1.
She's like burying it with gusto.
Yeah. Style points. I feel like we've discussed before. Kaylee is metal.
She's still going.
She's so metal.
You know who I think Kaylee is besides the mascot to Slytherin? If we're talking, it's plugged in.
Okay, just check it.
I just not turned on yet.
Okay.
But if we're talking Critical Role, Kaylee is Bo.
Oh, Kaylee is Bo.
Bo.
I do like that. Not quite people-y.
She's not a people-y person. She has quick strikes.
Yeah.
She's parkours.
Yeah, she's parkour.
She's tiny, compact, and strong.
Who's Stormy?
Stormy? Oh, here's the thing. Here's what I'm saying. It's crossing campaigns, okay?
That's fine.
Stormy is Ford, while Drake is Grog.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Drake is a bazillion % Grog.
But that's what I'm saying. Stormy might be Ford.
He does have really high charisma.
He has very high charisma. He's deep inside.
Yeah, he's very charismatic.
And he's just like, as Travis is.
He does like to eat swords.
Warrior protector.
Yeah.
I was going to go like very heartfelt and intense, but no, he just eats swords.
He is. He's very charismatic. He's going to make you fall in love with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like that.
No, that's what that is.
I feel like we need to find a little Caduceus in our bunch.
Yeah, we don't have a Caduceus dog in our bunch.
Wait, is Lady Yasha? She's
might be
crazy.
She's very aloof
and not always around,
and she disappears often.
Yeah.
She might be Yasha.
Yeah, but when she goes to town, it's like, oh, you better be scared.
Yeah, she can go berserker every once in a while. She will cut a bitch. we don't
Lady,
have.
She will cut a bitch.
we don't have a clay dog. We'll see what.
We're going to need one.
Well, eventually Nick and I are going to get another corgi. Okay. And it will take a while to see what that corgi's personality fully is. But we shall see if we get a Caduceus dog.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
That would be pretty good.
I feel like someone would have to get like a really...
I don't want a jester dog.
I feel like a jester dog is like... I don't know what it is. It's like scrappy.
It's the most troublemaker dog.
Yeah.
That's ever
like
troublemaker.
Just getting into trouble all the time.
Yeah.
Holy farts. Maybe that's what Drake is too.
Maybe, but
he does get in trouble in more Grog-like ways.
He's Grog.
Guys,
he's fully Grog.
One dog story. Last night we were playing D&D.
The Genies and Dragons.
The Genies and Dragons. And Drakey was so bored, with no one paying attention to him, that he dragged every blanket in the world from inside of his crate, and he's got like a nest of them. I didn't realize he had so many. Every single one out into the living room so that everybody could see his beds, put his service to the desk. Yeah,
put my teeth to the desk because he did start tearing them up,
and then he ate the beds.
Yeah.
He's like, and for my next
we'll cover our quick D&D recap soon.
Super quick.
Because that was a thing.
Wowza.
I am behind on this last month's podcast. They'll get out.
It's coming.
It's getting there. I couldn't draw it while at work. Or I felt slightly uncomfortable drawing it at work.
Well, it's one of those things where you're at work, so you're like, feel like you're not supposed to be doing non-work things.
Oh, no! No, it was mostly just a reference.
I know why.
I was using. Yeah, it was not Gold in a Box, which people have requested.
Well, it's coming.
But I was having a hard time looking up romance novels covers.
You know what? I think we've got a friend coming over later. I feel like we rope her into making Gold in a Box.
She'll be able to make Gold in a Box.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Got it.
Cool. Are we recording now?
I think we're ready.
Are we
Yeah.
Yep. 182.
182. Yes.
Dos. Welcome to episode 182 of There's No Place Like Terra, a Stargate First Watch Rewatch. I am Nixie.
And I'm Grace. And today we are covering Atlantis, season 1, episode. I wrote over my same notes from the last one and it said 8, and I was like, definitely not 8. Before I Sleep, aka weirdest birthday gift ever.
Which one, the pot or a duplicate self?
Well, yeah, seriously. I don't know what's weirder. Yeah.
I don't have a super decent AKA. I will come up with one as we go. I couldn't think of one I really hit it on the head.
We'll
for
find
me.
one. This one was a real quick off the top of the brain box. See what happens.
So before we get into the Stargate,
let's do it.
All Fires recap.
All Fires. We got a theme song.
We Leroy Jenkins our way into a bad situation.
Yeah. Well, let's start at the beginning. Mr. Phil and I went, all fires. And then Mr. Phil picked up on it, and I was really proud of him. He goes, you'll get caught up in the all fires. So we found our theme song.
Yeah. Yep.
And then,
and I proceeded with going the opposite route, assholes in disguise.
Yeah, which I think works too. We got to a dungeon, and then I went, hey, we should stealth.
Well, we weren't in the dungeon yet.
We got to
the location, yeah.
Yeah, we got to the location, and we got to the steps, and I went, hey, should we stealth?
And then the rest of us, I think, miscalculated where we were
or something
in the grand scheme of the map.
And so everyone went, nah, and I went, okay.
Yeah, I will be honest, I legit still thought we were a day's journey away from where we were going.
Yeah. Mistakes were made. Shit hit the fan hard.
We basically did a legit 5 or 6 hour battle and we're not done yet.
Yeah. It was tough times. And
everyone's out of everything.
At some point, everybody was on one side of a rope bridge. And one character was on the other side of a rope bridge with 3 giant bad guys.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Yeah. And everyone's sort of out of shit they can hurl. Everyone's out of spells.
We're running and they're chasing.
We're running and then we're chasing, but our tank, Muck, Nick's character, was the last one to leave because he's the tank and he got the last hit in. He can't. The orcs can run faster.
Guess what, guys? Orcs are faster.
So we ended
than half orcs.
We ended the session with us about to try to ambush the 2 orcs, but coming around the corner, Muck just fell unconscious.
Yeah, super hard times. It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be fine. I'm gonna run over and go to healing droughts.
We're just gonna keep running.
I'm hoping I can be on the opposite side of the orc and give him a healing drought so he doesn't hit me, or I can keep my invisibility up. Because I still haven't gotten a ruling from DM Jesse on that.
We'll find out what the DM rules. But I think the way we're going to play this out is I'm going to go back and fight shit and hold them off so you can get Muck out of there.
Well,
basically, we'll all run.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I have currently cast invisibility on myself because I was on the ground with 3 orcs over me, and I'm like, Sam's going to die.
This is not good time. Yeah.
So as soon as someone healed me, I cast invisibility and got the fuck out of dodge. I was going to do inflict wounds, but I was like, invisibility is better. And so technically I'm still invisible, and technically invisibility lasts until you cast a spell or attack. I am feeding him a potion.
So it's technically neither.
That is from my alchemical satchel. So technically isn't casting a spell.
That's fair.
Which is why I'm like, it is DM's ruling. I'm fine with either. I'm going to go give it to him anyway.
Right.
It's just more of, do I have a possible attack of opportunity?
I should say we did do some cool stuff.
We did some really neat things.
We knocked I'll say Danae, my character, tripped a guy into a pit.
That was cool.
That was fun.
Our wizard cast grease on a couple of bad guys, and then Sam got to control fire and moved the fire from the brazier and then lit the grease on fire. That was cool.
That was cool times.
That was a cool visual.
And then It was an interesting
It
situation.
was
We
insane.
almost lost our cleric twice because he's bad at ropes.
Yeah, he's a little kobold
He's a tiny little kobold.
who's scrappy.
And he needs to listen to his mistress. Okay.
Yeah.
That's where
We have
are.
a cliffhanger currently.
We will
It's
let y'all know.
it's the second time we've had a cliffhanger.
With the same character in
With the same
peril.
character. I'm gonna have to pause. Just keep going.
Okay, I'm here. We're going. These are, I don't know why we're pausing, but this episode is brought to you by the letter purple
It's
and
involving a dog and
the
one
number
that eats grass.
orange. And that's what life is about. Guys, let's talk about Weir's birthday. I know there's going to be more that goes into this, but hey, for my birthday, never get me a duplicate of me because we've already learned that I'm going to kill it. That the minute I see something and I know that it's me, it's going to die.
Yeah, we've already covered that.
Yeah. So how she decided against killing this old lady, I don't know. Okay.
Okay. I realized I didn't put lipstick on today.
No.
Okay. Stargate. February 18th, 2005. This episode is written by Carl Binder, Roger.
Roger.
Directed by Andy Makita. The episode title, comes from a Robert Frost poem.
Oh.
It's actually one of my favorite poets because one of my favorite poems is Fire and Ice, which I based my senior... Fun fact, I based my senior show in college on Fire and Ice.
What's a senior show? Oh, because you have a design degree.
I have a design degree.
Got it.
So I did...
God, that sounds way more fun than what I have to do.
I did a museum. We had this part of the museum that we had to do a piece in. And so I did, among other pieces I had, but I mean, two big pieces were inspired by the poem Fire and Ice. And one was the destruction of the earth that formed the moon. And one was destruction of the earth as the sun was destroyed.
Wowza.
Because fire... The earth being destroyed by ice.
Did you write a song of ice and fire?
I did.
Is that what I'm hearing?
I did.
Nixie wrote a song of ice
I'm
and fire.
actually Germ.
Germ.
So it's this. Oh my gosh. The title of this episode came from the poem "Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening," and if you thought I wasn't going to recite it, you are wrong.
Damn.
Whose woods these are? I think I know. His house is in the village, though. He will not see me stopping here to watch its woods fill up with snow. My little horse must think it's queer to stop without a farmhouse near, between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. He gives us harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep. And miles to go before I sleep.
Okay.
Yes.
I pictured
a
regular horse.
Yes.
And then a baby horse.
Yes.
A miniature horse, if you will. A little Sebastian.
I was going to say, is his name Sebastian?
And that's the one who's like, what the fuck are we doing here? Okay.
Okay.
This is why I'm not allowed to read poetry or do
because when it says
things.
My little horse, it's literally just little Sebastian.
I am the asshole that giggles during a performance of like interpretive dance or something like that.
Yep.
Or like you know how there's always the uncle who's gonna make a fart sound? I'm the asshole who laughs.
I'm usually the asshole that makes the
fart
sound.
sound. There were plenty of time last night, I will admit, to this being my fault, where domestic partner boyfriend DM Jesse
got a little annoyed at us a couple times.
was like, guys, I'm trying to tell a story, and I was like, crossfire.
He's trying to talk and we're being like, is there this? Is there this?
And
He goes,
he's like,
let me explain this.
Can I please tell the story? And he's absolutely right.
Completely.
And we're a bunch of fucking Muppets.
We are Muppets.
And we don't deserve him.
He's a
We
much
just
better
don't.
DM than we deserve.
Yes, we deserve the asshole who TPKs us and doesn't give us a story.
To be
and
fair,
just-
he might still TPK us.
I mean, if I were him, I would have TPK'd us by now.
If my Sam ever dies, I'm gonna be very sad.
Yeah.
Okay, so we start this episode on the balcony.
Mhm.
John and SG1. I'm SGA1, SA1. What are we gonna call this team? Because they haven't really like mentioned a team name in this. I know there's one that people frequently use, but I want to see if we can come up with our own
Team. Let's see. What are their last names? Shepard, McKay, Ford, and Taylor.
Well, it's Taylor Amagan.
All right.
We never really find out if Amagan. Some people think that's like the title, but I think that's just her last name. Anyways, they're about to go explore some of the city. But
Team Fams.
Team Fams?
That's stupid. We're not doing that.
Lantis 1.
Lantis 1.
Okay, so they're going to explore the city. But first, John has a birthday gift for Weir. It's a either hand-thrown or hand-carved, I can't quite figure out which, but pot he got from the Athosians last time he was on the mainland. And she's very thankful. A little annoyed that John somehow found out when her birthday was. But he's not telling how.
So do you fall under that camp of people? Or there's like, I feel
No.
like there's always two camps of people. The like, hey, my birthday's coming up, or the don't tell anybody it's my birthday people.
I am under the camp of those people who I care about knowing when my birthday is will know when my birthday is. But I'm also not someone who people need to know the exact date.
Fair.
Like, not in terms of trying to keep it secret, but it's like, hey, if it's celebrated around my birthday, it's fine.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like Weir's one of those, like, don't tell anybody it's my birthday people. Which, I know there's many reasons for it, but I've never understood it.
And again, it's not like I try to keep it secret, but it's also, I try not to be like, do shit for me, look at my birthday. It's more of like, hey, those people who know me know
I'm
it's...
like, hey, birthday, 30 days away. Countdown is on.
Yeah, more of like, I mean, all of the month is my birthday.
Nice.
It's fine.
Yeah. It's forever my birthday.
Yeah.
Birthday forever time.
Exactly. So from the control room, McKay is watching the rest of his team investigate the city.
Yeah.
They found some living quarters. McKay is looking to upgrade. One bedroom, den, maybe a balcony.
Oh, yeah. Game room.
Game room. Meanwhile, Ford has found something.
You know, they'll design their own 8-bit game. They'll find the tech to build Pong.
Oh, are you kidding me? I wouldn't be surprised if Zelenka and McKay have already designed a video game.
That's fair. Yeah.
That goes around the city.
Yeah.
But Ford found another lab, which you're like, oh, another lab. Ooh.
Yeah, exciting.
McKay's sort of like, the last city's full of them. Who cares?
7,000 labs.
But this one has a unique feature in form of frozen lady.
Creepy frozen dead lady.
Yeah.
It's the nope.
Okay.
I lost my thought and I was like, nope, it's not coming back.
Yeah, there's a frozen lady there, so there's that. And credits.
It's the Halloween lab. Thank you. That's where we're going.
Yeah.
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 You gotta have a creepy lady.
So we have a meeting of the minds now in the lab. McKay wants to get her out of stasis, and wake her up. And Carson's like, I don't know if she's going to survive that.
Yeah, she may die immediately.
She's not like completely frozen. It's sort of metabolic stasis. So she's still aging, but very slowly. And according to McKay, she's been in that chamber for about 10,000 years.
Crap. So it's weird to me. Like, I feel like Carson's the one who should have the information that McKay does. But I guess he's just there he's like a sciencer of actual humans, whereas McKay's the one who understands the science behind like how you put the body in stasis.
Yeah, and I think if you look at sort of Carson's, I think in terms of Carson may have that knowledge, yes. But in terms of Carson's actual sort of science background, he's much more like genealogy.
Medical.
Well, but
he's
messing with genes. It's you know, he made the ATA gene.
Right.
I've always gotten the thought of that while he is obviously completely confident, capable of being the chief medical officer, of doing anything that would come across,
Right.
his background, his past is much more of a study and research.
That makes sense.
More so than like Janet.
Than practical application.
Than practical. Obviously, he's fully capable of doing all the actual practice, but he would also be happy in the lab doing research.
He's happier doing research, whereas Janet would be like, fuck. More research.
Exactly. So
I have to write this paper where I would rather just be doing the thing that the paper is about.
And that Carson's like cutting edge medical breakthroughs type stuff.
Got it. I'm with you.
McKay doesn't think they can let the chance of talking with a living ancient slip through their grasp.
Yeah.
Again.
I'm kind of on the side there.
Looking to John.
Remember that time you fucked shit up? Thanks, bye.
And John eye rolls. Carson's like, I mean, who knows if her brain's going to be a little like freezer burned. Also, she could be holding a contagion. We don't know.
That part's true.
Maybe she has smallpox.
Yeah. I feel like that's the kind of shit we'd have to worry about now, right? Let's say we found a frozen human from whatever time ago.
I mean, listen, did you see the original X-Files film?
No.
Oh, okay, never mind.
That's my problem.
Yeah.
I have problems. I don't know things. The bubonic plague.
Yep. Well, they froze an ancient, and she had some disease even earlier in SG1.
Oh, right. That lady.
This
is not our first popsicle human.
Popsicle ancient.
Yeah.
And McKay's like, ZPMs. Maybe she knows.
Yeah.
We need those. And Weir makes a call to revive her. And they all wonder if she was left behind. Was she willing or not?
Was she chaotic evil?
Maybe she's chaotic evil. Maybe she's a supervillain that
Maybe
they iced.
This is the horror episode. Oh, and then she just kills them all.
Yeah. And maybe
that would have been interesting.
She won't remember anything at all.
And she's like, oh, they all died. Just kidding. I killed them all enough for you.
So outside the stasis chamber, Carson is monitoring her and finds a note in her hand. Weir opens it, and McKay recognizes that it's 5 gate addresses. And one of them actually is one they've been to before. And he lists it off, and it is the planet with the kids.
Oh, right.
They had the ZPM that they stole and went, oh, just kidding. We shouldn't steal that.
The Finding Neverland.
Yes. Yes.
Sorry.
And the woman opens her eyes. Everyone waits and watches her. And I'm like, that's a really creepy way to wake up.
Yeah.
Just everyone standing over you, looking at you.
I've been there.
Yeah.
I've had the genuine opportunity.
It seems a little creepy.
It's not fun.
No, I can imagine.
I do remember one specific time where I still get annoyed at this. When I first woke up from my diabetic coma when I was a tiny, tiny human, this woman who was a doctor at the hospital there, some very busy doctor woman, was also a type 1 diabetic.
Yeah.
And they woke me up and she's like, hello, I don't have a lot of time, but I'm here to tell you that I'm also a type 1 diabetic.
Jesus Christ.
You're going to be fine. And I'm just like, I'm fucking 9. Go away. Bye. I was just like, can I watch the fucking Flintstones now?
This is not information I'm able to process at this moment.
You better not, lady. Yikes. Your bedside manner. That's what I think.
She was also a research doctor.
Probably, yeah. Or you know what I think she was is a surgeon.
Oh yeah, no, they don't necessarily have.
And I'm like, don't talk to me.
So the woman opens her eyes. Everyone's staring at her, and she's not fixing her gaze on everyone. And McKay's just like, yep, freezer burn.
Yeah.
And Carson's like, 10,000 years.
Give her a fucking second.
That's a bloody jig. Come on.
Sometimes when I get up in the morning, I'm like, oh, that's gonna take a minute.
I'm not people have seen me in the morning. You don't. I am a zombie until there's caffeine in my system to at least a certain degree.
I wonder what's easier to manage is a zombie or the mode that I get into. I am liable to cry. If you say something that's a little too harsh for me, like that early in the morning, I don't have a defense system.
Yeah.
I plenty of times Jesse has made me cry when he's like, "Oh my God, what did I do?" I was like, "I haven't had coffee. You were mean."
Yeah, no, I'm like monosyllabic.
Yeah.
Sometimes not words.
Yeah.
Just don't. It's real fun. If you encounter me at the gym,
don't talk.
Don't even pretend to try to communicate with me. I have not had coffee when I'm at the gym.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Some of us don't do great in the mornings.
No. But then she starts following the gaze of who's talking. And she looks out the window at this beautiful scene that you see out the window. And she goes, "It works." Or it worked. Past tense. Fucked it up. It worked.
It was.
And then she falls asleep. So Carson's going to transfer her to the infirmary, and they're going to get a camera on her because they don't want to miss anything. And,
right. I'm really impressed that her clothing has been intact for 10,000 years.
Well,
it is worn.
It is worn. But it's been in a stasis chamber.
That's true. It's not like it was in the dirt.
I mean, she lasted for 10,000 years.
Yeah, no shit. I'm also surprised her hair's not longer. Even in stasis.
Yeah. Well, isn't there they always remark on at some point, like everyone's hair has sort of a natural maximum. That's and it's gonna sort of hit that point and it's gonna slow down pretty dramatically.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the control room, John and McKay are still discussing real estate.
Not me, I'm Rapunzel.
I wish. Okay. And they haven't found any other frozen bodies. And we learned the fun fact that Atlantis is around the size of Manhattan.
Hey. That's kind of big.
It's gigantic. Well, if you think, it is a full city.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's quite fully the size of Manhattan.
Hold all of the ancients, so yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, it is. My head, I always saw it as not necessarily all of Manhattan, but maybe the north end of Central Park down to the Battery, like that chunk. Okay. Not like upper Manhattan.
No, I want it to be all of it.
Okay, fine. It's all
like I feel like it's the size of it, just mildly less crowded.
That's fine. It's all of Manhattan.
All of it.
It's canon.
There's a Central Park.
Yep.
Within the city. Okay.
So Carson radios that she is awake again and saying peculiar things. Also, I want to mention that as we watch this, the blanket that she has over her legs for pretty much all this episode, it is my personal headcanon that was Carson's personal item.
Yeah.
And it is made from obviously local wool.
Yeah. His grandma made it.
Something. Yeah.
Someone made it for him.
Yeah. That's
maybe he made it. No. Someone made it for him.
It's my personal headcanon.
Someone made it for him while he was studying. Yeah. And like grandma came over and put it on his shoulders on a cold day.
Yeah.
And now it's his favorite piece in the whole wide world.
That's basically it.
And I love the phrase, a wee bit odd.
A wee bit peculiar.
Yeah.
So when they reach the infirmary, she's drifting in and out still. But one weird thing, she knew Carson's name.
Yep.
And that's just like part one of the weirdness. So Weir walks over to her and she's like, "Look at you. I didn't think I'd see any of you again."
That's not super weird at all.
And she missed everyone.
And
she knows Rodney's name.
Is this when I called it? When did I? Because I called it at some point.
You called it, I think, a little bit beforehand.
Okay, I was really excited.
You called it, I think, a little bit beforehand in a question mark of, is that Weir?
Yeah. Again, this comes from my horror story of like, hey, I'm you.
Kill it. Stabby.
Yeah.
Weir goes, "Have we met?" And the woman goes, "I am you, Elizabeth." And Weir's like, "Come again for Big Fudge?
You killed my father, prepared to die."
Also, I'm glad I don't have to wear those contacts.
Oh, God, those look painful.
Yeah. So in the conference room, I'm going to call her Weir Prime.
Oh, okay. I was calling them Baby Pierre and Grandma Pierre. Or Weir. I don't know why I said Pierre. But that works too.
Weir Prime. Because she came first.
Yeah, makes sense.
So says that she traveled back to when the ancients inhabited the city. And how that's going to be one of the first questions that Weir asks her when Weir Prime wakes up is like, you need a elaborate on that
More,
sentence
please.
a little more?
Yeah.
McKay goes, maybe she's just nuts. He also reminds us that according to Einstein's general theory of relativity, there's nothing against time travel.
Mhm.
It's just very difficult.
Yeah.
Because you have to manipulate black holes.
We've
basically.
just not been smart enough yet.
So the
Give
general
some time.
the general theory of relativity is the one that you frequently see, where you see like the grid of space, and then there'll be like a big
hole?
planet. Well, it's a big planet, and then it like
Oh.
divvies in like it's a
Like it's sinking in.
stretchy
Yeah,
floor.
yeah.
That's the general theory of relativity, because that has to do with gravity.
Okay.
And that's the one with black holes and stuff.
Okay.
And then the special theory is the one that has to do with the speed of light.
Brain.
Yeah.
Okay.
So general is like the bowling ball look.
Got it.
Yeah.
And the other one looks like
It's just
things.
yeah.
Okay.
That's the
The
speed
speed
one.
of light thing. Got
There's
it.
the fast one and then the heavy one.
Oh, I like it. I like
Yeah.
it. Dex versus strength. Got it.
Dex versus strength. So
It was stupid.
also what helps with time travel, John says, is a really nice DeLorean. And McKay's like, don't get me started on that film.
I mean, it's fun.
Yeah, McKay is not someone who's going to be able to watch a movie like
No,
Back
McKay
to the
does
Future
not care about
and
fun.
separate out the fact that there's no science involved.
Meanwhile, Shepard's just like, hey, I just lost her name. It's super cute. And I'm like, what's her name?
Don't remember.
Oh, I just lost her name.
Yep.
I
So,
want to call her Caroline in the City. Because that's what else she did.
oh my God, she wasn't Caroline in the City.
She was Caroline in the City. I'm going to find it because it's going to make everybody
Meanwhile, Carson comes in. He has finished his DNA test. It is Weir.
mad.
Ah.
Leah Thompson.
Leah Thompson.
Leah
Oh,
Thompson.
yeah.
Sorry.
So back in the infirmary, McKay explains to Weir that actually when we got to the city was actually trying to wake Weir Prime up. With all the power surges, they didn't know. They just saw energy being diverted to a lab, and they're like, shut down all the extra energy.
Okay, and I'm not laughing at the fact that they had to shut down energy. I'm laughing at what comes next, where McKay's like, we almost killed her.
Yeah.
I mean, you almost killed her.
Yeah.
Dick.
Yeah, they shut all the power down to try to save power for the ZPM and didn't. Yeah. And Weir is just thinking about how odd and weird it is to be looking at an older version of yourself.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, looking good for 10,000.
I mean, at my rate, I might look identical.
There's a picture somewhere of you getting real old.
Somewhere.
Uh-huh.
There's also a picture of me when I'm 16 and I.
Oh, I've just met your Dorian Gray.
Oh, yeah.
You're going
No.
full Dorian Gray.
Yeah, no, I have a Dorian Gray.
Uh-huh.
I have.
A portrait aging in the attic.
I think my hair is the only thing that changes, and that's not by much. It's just
Yeah.
the length of it. So,
I've been rocking these bangs since 1986.
I got rid of my bangs in, I think, 2nd or 3rd grade.
bangs for life.
And I never looked back. This is the closest thing I have to bangs now. So McKay points out that how Weir will be is actually different from what Weir Prime is. Because the moment Weir Prime went back in time, she created a whole separate reality. And that runs parallel to theirs.
Wow.
To hers.
Mhm.
So like she veered off. And so because multiverse, every possible outcome to every decision or possibility exists in the multiverse.
Right.
Which I am the kid that would go into a trance thinking about that.
It's like trying to think about eternity.
Yeah.
It's like trying
Infinity.
to understand. Yeah. It's like how?
Yeah.
How?
And then
What?
your brain like blue screens.
Uh-huh. Because you
And
can't.
you have to reboot. Yeah.
That seems about right.
So Weir Prime wakes up then and remembers that she had a note to give them. And McKay's like, oh, we already found it. Also, we need to know everything about your encounter with the ancients.
Give me all of your
Starting
words.
with when and how she went back in time. And Weir's like, dude, chill the fuck out.
Literally just woke up.
Chill.
Yeah. After 10,000 years. inside a bottle. Wait, that's a genie.
So Weir Prime,
Are genies just in stasis when they're inside their bottles?
it depends. I mean, like, did she have a name besides Genie in I Dream of Genie?
No, her name was Genie.
Okay, well, Genie wasn't in stasis.
That's right. She had that little fancy couch.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Genie in Aladdin wasn't in stasis either. Because he talks about eternity in a little bitty box.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So it depends. Some genies might be.
I feel like they should be, because then that's how they get to exist forever and ever.
Well, I know, but they're also, I think, just immortal
beings. That's fair.
They might be. You know what there probably is? You know what they probably are? And Kaylee's agreeing with me because their neighbors are leaving the house. There might be ascended ancients.
Oh, I like that.
They're ascended ancients, is what genies are.
Genies are ascended ancients. They are not in stasis. Got it.
Yeah.
And actually,
they just shrink down into a pocket universe. And I've always thought that the genie bottle is like the TARDIS. It's actually pretty big inside.
Oh, it's got a swimming pool and a gym, the whole deal. Yeah.
I mean, they're genies. They get to make their own world inside the lamp.
I would just make a TV.
Just a TV.
Yeah.
So Weir Prime starts to tell her story. When they arrive in Atlantis, much like we saw in the pilot episode, the city started waking up. And we actually see footage reused from the pilot episode, and it's nice because some of they seamlessly take new scenes and intermix it with the pilot episode stuff. One big difference, but the lights came on, the air started circulating,
but it was home.
Power didn't turn on.
Just kidding, that's not what I meant.
So McKay points out in the present time that when they got here, everything came online. And Weir Prime is like, I know.
I did that.
But that's not what happened when I came through the gate.
Yeah. I feel like
she falls asleep again.
Like, you're welcome.
And then she falls asleep again. So in Weir's office, she explains, she's talking to Carson, and she's like, I understand the risks. I understand that you're not comfortable with it, but we need her to stay awake for longer. Carson's like, she is super fragile, and the stimulant's gonna fuck with her heart or worse. And Weir's like, I don't mean anything. I'm not talking like sticking a needle of adrenaline to her heart. I'm like, give her some coffee.
She's like, you've watched Crank? Don't do that. She's not Jason Statham.
And I kind of know that she can probably handle a couple cups of coffee.
Yeah. She's like, I know me. I like coffee. Yeah.
Also, Weir knows that Weir Prime would want to stay awake.
She's probably not even that weak. She just generally needs some coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She might just be me in the morning.
Yeah, she's just like, I'm a cranky pants and I can't get all the work
So
out.
Carson reluctantly agrees. So back at the infirmary, Weir Prime is awake, sitting up. Weir comes in with a wheelchair, ready to break her out.
Yeah. It makes me think, how wheelchair accessible do we think Atlantis is?
I don't know. I mean, she gets everywhere she needs to go.
She does. But I feel like it's by magic because there's a lot of stairs around.
There are, but I'm sure there's back routes. Listen, they wouldn't design. They would not design an entire city that not everyone can get around to.
Well, that's true. And I guess you do have to move cargo and things. So maybe she's just taking like the freight elevator.
She's taking the freight elevator, yeah. But they take her up to the control room and the gate room, and you just see her marveling at all this activity and how alive the city is. They've taken everyone in the city and just put it in the one room just for her to get that impact. In the control room, she tells them how relieved she is to see the city sitting at the surface of the ocean, because as we see in flashbacks to Weir Prime, the city did not rise when she got there. We see the pilot Sumner call her down and seeing the city underwater. And the main difference is that Weir Prime's shield was already starting to collapse.
Yikes.
Sections were already flooded. Their Naquita generators wouldn't have enough time to hook them up to see if they would do any difference to try to keep any parts of the city safe. The shield is rapidly collapsing, and we actually hear over the radio the waters crashing in that led to Colonel Sumner drowning.
What a creepy recording to have.
Yeah.
I feel like there's real life recordings of things going down.
Yeah.
I never want to hear those.
No.
There's no good thing to get out of hearing people die.
No. And Sumner wasn't the only one who fell, she
Yikes.
said. And they can't send anyone through the gates since all the power at the moment is going to trying to keep whatever's left of the shield up.
Mhm.
A shield that would have lasted for another 100 or so years had they not come over and spiked all the power requirements.
Sure.
McKay's going to try to get the generators connected to the gate. They won't be able to dial back to Earth, but somewhere else in this galaxy they can go to.
Mhm.
And John goes to look at the gate ships someone mentioned, and the city starts to shake.
Dun dun dun.
In the
He
gate,
doesn't even get to name them puddle jumpers.
no, they're still gate ships. The entire and all the flashbacks, if you
Mhm.
notice, they call them gate ships.
Yep.
So in the gate ship bay, John looks at one while Ford goes to check another, see how many people that can fit into them. Because right now this is looking like this is going to have to be their escape route.
Yep.
In the control room, 2 of the piers are flooded and gone. The third one is about to be flooded.
Yike.
John tells him they can fit a bunch of people into each jumper. Don't know how to fly him yet, but he's in one that's a little bit different. It has an extra console in it, so he has Zelenka coming to check it out, and Weir's going to go too. And McKay realizes something terrible. The city's going into its last gasp self-protect mode.
Dun dun dun.
And airtight bulkheads are closing all over the city, and people are trapped.
Yikes.
Trapped in areas where the water is already breached and is already flooding.
That's awful.
Yeah. So McKay can try to open the bulkheads, or he can try to get the gate dialed. Doing both, he's like, I can get one for sure. I can get the other for sure.
But
Doing
I can't do
both, it's a risk. And the city shakes again. And Weir tells McKay that if the ships are going to be their only way out, do not wait to get to a ship.
Yikes.
At the jumper, Zelenka is looking at the extra console, which we see now and will look familiar to those of us who've seen SG1.
I did not catch this.
Yeah.
I'm dumb. Is this the ship that Jack and them find?
I don't know if it's the same ship.
Interesting.
You get the idea. Obviously, this was destroyed.
The same kind of ship.
We'll touch on this again later in the episode.
Grace dumb.
As you're making connections.
Wow.
There's more connections made at the end of the episode.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Well, yes. That part,
So
yes.
it looks familiar as the possible time ship that Sam was trying to get working, that they had Jack fly home.
Yep.
Zelenka doesn't know what it does. We do.
Oh, my brain just broke. Okay.
Zelenka soon finds out, though. Actually, Zelenka technically never really finds out what it does.
No,
it's just Weir does.
Disappears. Yeah.
Weir finds out that it goes back in time, but John and Zelenka are killed before they realize what's fully happened.
That's true.
So McKay is going to try to get the roof hatch open in the gate ship bay, and all the bulkhead doors around the control room now have slammed shut. And we can see from McKay's view, he goes over to the balcony over the gate room, and it is quickly flooding with water. Waters are rising.
This is a bad time. This is like to restart the game at your save point.
Yeah, McKay and Grodin are basically the musicians at the deck of the Titanic.
The Titanic.
The waters are rising very quickly, and McKay just focuses on getting the roof hatch open, and it's probably the final thing that he is able to do. We cut back to the present, and the look on McKay's face when he realizes he died.
Full on Not Penny's boat is what he does.
Yeah, he goes full Not Penny's boat.
Okay. I hope people get that reference.
If they don't, they should.
It's okay.
That's one of the few. Again, we know that Nixie is not a hyper emotional person when she watches TV, but when I saw Not Penny's boat, I was in tears.
Yeah. Yikes.
Weir Prime says that McKay never gave up. McKay Prime never gave up.
Never surrender.
Never give up, but never surrender. That might be my AK for the episode. And McKay says that, a man wonders how he would choose to go given dire circumstances.
Yeah.
And now he knows.
That's got to bolster some confidence.
Because he didn't go out
the chicken shit way.
Like, he didn't go as a coward. He went out as a boss. He fucking faced it and stood there on the balcony with water rising, saving the few people he could.
Yeah. Get it.
And John's like, yeah, but you still failed. And
Yeah,
I was
that
like,
guy was
dude,
fucking shitty. Like, super mean asshole. And
John,
I feel like it's like, well, you died too. God.
John Shepherd.
God, like, that troll is over the top.
Those are the times I wish he knew his middle name.
We'll just do what we do to Drake and be like, Bartholomew, Jonald, Bartholomew.
Jonald.
Well, I feel like you have to add something to it.
It's probably Jonathan.
No, I like Jonald, like
Okay,
Reginald.
His
but
name
it's-
is Jonald.
Yeah.
So Weir wonders why the failsafe didn't trigger and why the city didn't rise to the surface. She's like, because there was no failsafe.
Yeah.
It sat on the ocean floor with the
Maybe
shield
it's
collapsing.
Janisha. Bartholomew Shepherd.
So Ford and Carson
Sorry.
drowned trying to save people and get them to the ships, and John, Zelenka, and Weir Prime were trapped on the time jumper. They get the hatch closed just in time, hoping McKay got the roof open, and they hear over the radio that others got to jumpers, but they don't know what to do. They don't know how to fly them. Nothing's turning on. But John's ATA gene turned the jumper on.
Yay.
And I'm going to put the horrible mental image in your head is
no.
people if we're trapped in a jumper without anyone who had the ATA gene.
Oh, all I think of is Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because the ship's not going to, those puddle jumpers aren't going to take on water.
No, they're just gonna.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm done. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Yikes.
So John's ATA gene turned the time jumper on. And he's not an instruction manual guy. He could really use one right now. He touches a button and there's a flash. And they find themselves in orbit around a planet.
Yeah.
And he presses the button again and the ship shakes this time because actually they're under attack now. And in the present, Weir Primes looks like she has a little seizure or something. We find out later it's like a mild stroke and she passes out.
Oh no.
Quite a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Later in the infirmary, Weir tells Shepherd that Weir Prime is stable, but weak and getting weaker. And John acknowledges that this must be really weird for you.
Yeah.
Staring at your own mortality. And McKay comes in realizing that the jumper must have been a time machine. And John's like, flux capacitor!
Yeah,
and
we
McKay's
did
like,
it.
no.
I feel like
But
maybe
kind
that's
of.
the only time travel movie he's seen.
Probably.
No.
No,
He's seen Bill and Ted's.
He's seen Bill and Ted's and he's seen, oh, jeezy creasy. Hold up. It's
It's the one with the guy.
The Final Countdown. No, the Final Countdown. That one John has seen because it's about an aircraft carrier.
Got it.
Which is, fun fact, a movie my grandmother was never able to comprehend. It's actually a fun movie. It's 1980, so it's a 1980s modern aircraft carrier that goes through time and arrives in Pearl Harbor in 1941.
Oh, see it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's interesting. It's a fun one.
Oh.
Watch it if you haven't.
I'm gonna.
But John's seen that one totally for sure. And Weir Prime wakes up. In the flashback, we see Wraith darts firing on the time jumper. John wonders how they can shoot back, and of course the ship reads his mind and fires some squid missiles. And another dart fires right at the ship, and there's a bright light, and the next thing Weir knows, she wakes up in the infirmary then.
Dun, dun, dun.
Janice has healed her and explains to her that her ship was shot down, it was on the ocean floor, and only Weir survived.
Wow.
So McKay and John start bickering about who failed worse in the present time.
That's Leah. Let's focus on who died better.
And my favorite is how Weir is like eye-rolling annoyed, but Weir Prime is like, oh, that's adorable.
They're back to who they were.
Yeah. So Weir Prime continues. She was told that the ship who was in was a time ship, and Janice is the one who built it and eventually took Weir to the Atlantean Council.
Yikes, yeah.
One of them is Melia. Melia.
I can't remember.
I'm
The
going to
dark-haired
go
woman?
Melia. Yeah. That's actually the hologram from the pilot episode.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Malia.
Sure.
Malia.
And the other one is Moros.
Okay.
Taking a drink.
I mean,
so Malia explains that they're currently submerged as protection from the Wraith.
Okay.
And Moros is like, Earth, you say?
Yeah, that guy's very into earthy things. And he ends up going to Earth, right?
They all end up going to Earth.
So that's how we end up with the ancients here on the Earths. Got it? Okay.
And he's very, like, cranky old man.
Yeah, he definitely is.
He wants everyone to get off his lawn. So,
get off of my under the water lawn.
So, Janice is actually more impressed with the fact that the city's still around in 10,000 years. Malia is more of a pessimist and is like, I really hope you didn't already fuck up the timelines.
Too late. We're here now. We did this.
Also, Weir Prime is like, new phone, who Wraith?
Yeah. So safe.
I've been
Nice
watching
bet.
way too much Brian W. Foster. I
Yeah.
apologize. In the present, Weir Prime starts to describe the Wraith, and McKay's like, yeah, you can save your breath there.
Yeah.
We're good.
We got it. We know what Wraith are.
So apparently the Atlanteans sent a delegation of their most powerful warships to go and try to negotiate with the Wraith a truce.
Guys, you don't negotiate with people who want to eat you.
It didn't go well.
Yeah.
So apparently in the past, the ancients were about to evacuate through the Stargate back to Earth. And they're like, hey, Weir Prime, do you want to come?
Mm-hmm.
She's like, yeah, that's cool and all. I'd rather go back to the future.
I don't think I will. She goes full Captain America.
She does. Maybe to the moment that my people came through the Stargate, maybe like with an extra ZPM if you get one to spare.
Mm-hmm.
And Moros is like, yeah, we're done fucking with the timeline. You're gonna stay here.
Damn it.
Clearly he has also issues with the fact that Janice has been experimenting with it.
Mm-hmm.
Also the council isn't super fond of Janice's like studies and figuring out the ship that Janice like agreed not to build.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point they're about to evacuate.
Janice is a little bit of a rogue.
He is like
A little bit of a rogue agent.
he is like the best bumbly eccentric like science dude.
I am going to put it out there that I am a little bummed that there's not more of a romantic connection with him and Weir.
Oh, I kind of like that there's not.
I feel like I wish the kiss at the end would have been slightly less chaste. That's all.
Yeah.
Not like a steamy love affair.
Yeah. No, I personally was okay with it.
Okay.
Because I figured,
I just found him very charming.
yeah, he is just he's like a crazy
Uh-huh.
NPC dude.
Yeah.
He's a little eccentric, mad scientist-y.
I mean, you're about to go down for 10,000 years.
He's like bumbly.
Why not kiss the guy?
He's just bumbly British scientist.
Yeah.
Like professor.
Mm-hmm.
He in like a modern world, there would definitely be elbow patches and like a bunch,
Yeah.
just chalk still, because he's someone who still uses chalkboards,
So,
just
yep.
like covered in chalk.
Yep. I like it.
That's who he would be. But at this point, yeah, they're going to evacuate. They're going to leave the city,
Mhm.
and they hope that their kind will return to the city.
Mm-hmm.
Because look, Weir did.
Yeah.
I mean, people did eventually.
It's going to happen. We've now made time travel a thing. Prediction for all of the rest of Stargate. All of it is now all about time travel. The end by
Okay,
Dr. Stargate.
Dr. Stargate. But no,
MD.
Moros stands and he orders the time ship to be
That's the name of
destroyed.
my puppy. Dr. Stargate.
Orders the time ship destroyed, as well as all of the materials related to building it,
Mm-hmm.
and tells Weir that she can return with them to Earth, but she will not be returning to her own time.
Fuck.
In the present, Kirsten explains to the group that Weir Prime's body is failing her.
Mm-hmm.
Every system is reaching its limit, and he's honestly not sure if she's going to survive the night.
Yeah, I mean, 10,000 years is a long fucking time for even in stasis. For
Yeah, there's only so
the
much
human body to hold
medicine
together.
can do.
Yeah.
So she probably at least gets some really good meds, though.
Yeah. Just give her a bunch of shit so she doesn't feel any pain.
Exactly. So
That's how I want to go out. Just give me a shit ton of drugs.
I want to have a grand time on my way out.
Yep. I want to be like the universe. I know every answer to the universe.
Yeah.
Bye.
Weir Prime wakes up during this, begging to finish her story. She's waited so long to tell. So she begged the council not to destroy the time ship. And thankfully, Janice was on her side. They're talking to Malia, and Weir is like, well, Janice is like, look, Weir didn't choose to come here. So don't punish her and make her stay here. And Malia's like, look, I'm sorry. I totally get where you're coming from. We can't fuck with time more. Like, we can't send you back home.
I'll give credit to the ancients. What is it? Moros?
Yeah, Moros.
And Malia, they're confident.
Yeah.
And they've got their facts.
They've been
and
here
voting
before.
Yes, and they know what they're like, this is what it is. It's what it has to be.
They've been here before.
Yeah.
Like, they know what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's like, she's not being punished. This has nothing to do personally against her. This is just you can come, you can live with us. We will give you a home. You know, we will do everything we can for you, but we can't send you back from where you came from. Yeah. And Weir tells Malia how much her people fanboy over the ancients. Yeah. The gate builders, how much they've sacrificed to meet them. There's seriously no way to help. And she's like, I mean, we got our own shit that we're dealing with now.
Yeah, we're literally trying to just stay alive.
We can block the stargates. You can never come to Atlantis. So it's essentially buried. But then, so you wouldn't find the city, but you wouldn't be dead. Yeah. There's that. We can do that for you. But Weir's like, look, we're explorers.
Yeah.
And
I'd rather find it again.
Yeah. It's no surprise humans are the second evolution of the ancients. They're explorers too. It's built into who humans are. Yeah. And Janice is still in awe that the city survives 10,000 years.
Yeah, literally they were made for this.
Malia's like, look, I'm sorry. The council's decision is final. You can tell she feels she's not doing this like as a cold-hearted thing. She's like, I get it, but like we got our own shit to deal with right now.
Yeah, I cannot make this a priority.
Yeah. So Janice refused to accept defeat. He came with a plan behind the council's back.
He's got determined. A shoulder thing that looks really cool, and he's here to win.
Yeah, he is. So he calculated the power that would be needed to extend this power supply of the ZPMs. They're designed to run in parallel, all three at the same time, powering the city. But he's calculated how they can run in sequence, just use one ZPM at a time, cut down the power requirements the city would need while dormant, while sleeping, and make them last. Which is why when we got here, we have one last ZPM that's mostly drained.
Yeah.
Problem though is that the switchover can't happen automatically. Someone's going to have to stay the and physically transfer the which ZPM is turned on.
Right.
And Weir's like, I volunteer for tribute. Like, that's fine. It's not even a decision or discussion. Janice is called to the control room. One of the transport ships is under attack. And we listen again while the transport is destroyed and 300 people are gone.
No, I don't like these.
So Moros tells them they're going to begin the evacuations. They have to leave now. Janice and Weir go running.
Okay.
In the present, everyone has fallen asleep besides Weir. And Weir Prime wakes up. And I mean, even if she tells Weir, like, even if I was in pain, we wouldn't admit it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Weir wishes they could do more. Weir Prime tells her that she's always worrying. She knows that Weir put so much pressure on herself. And remember what Simon told them after the Baltic negotiation? Just breathe. Jesus. And in my head, I hear that, and I, again, always go to a Lin-Manuel Miranda song from In the Heights called Pesente y Fit. I can't say it right.
What's the word?
Patience and faith.
Paciencia.
And yeah.
Oh, what is faith?
I don't know. It's but
Okay.
there's technically one called breathe, and my head just combines the two because they have kind of the same. Anyways, I'm going back to Stargate. Anyway, Weir Prime.
It's just faith. Oh, I'm overthinking it.
Yeah, Weir Prime tells her to enjoy the moment, enjoy what's here now, and breathe.
Yeah.
And the sun
in this moment,
the breeze, your birthday. Just stop being so damn hard on yourself because life is quick.
Be where your feet are.
Yes. So and life, I like how she's like, life is quick, and Weir's like, not yours.
Yeah, and I think Weir needs this. A lot of us need this all the time. Some of us forget this very quickly. But yeah, it's just this idea of like, hey, sometimes it's just okay to like take in a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, shit's shitty and you've got to worry about this thing later, but worry about it later.
Just worry about it in 5 seconds.
Yeah. It's okay.
So this was Weir Prime's choice. She didn't second guess it for a moment then, and she doesn't regret it for a moment now. So the Stargate opens and the ancients start evacuating. And Janice actually tells Malia and Moros that Weir was one of the first people through the Stargate.
He's a big lying liar. Do you think they believe him?
I don't think they care.
Okay.
I think in this moment, Weir is like it's like an asterisk. Like
they're like, fine.
They literally could forget that she was there.
Yeah.
At a certain point.
Yeah. I think even if she stayed on Atlantis and they knew it, I think at this point they're like, fine.
They may have clearly saw her at the end of the episode.
That's what I'm wondering. Yeah. Like, do they? I think they know.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know what these two are cooking up, but at this point, it just doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Janice touches a few buttons, drifts away, sneaks down the stairs. Weir stares at the stasis chamber that she is going to spend most of her life in. In a deep, dreamless sleep. And Janice has programmed it to wake her up in 3.3 thousand years and 6.6 thousand years to rotate the ZPMs. And then also instructions on how to do that, how to reactivate the stasis chamber. Also, the computer will revive her as soon as her team comes to the gate again.
Except for when we cut the power to things
when McKay didn't. And admits that there is a very remote possibility that this is not going to work.
Yeah, shit.
He's programmed to fail safe just in case that happens. To protect the city, if the power drains to a certain critical level, that the mechanism holding the city will release and the city will rise to the surface.
The city will rise!
And the very idea of that amazes Weir.
Yeah.
So Weir sneaks into the control room, watching the last of the ancients leave the Stargate. And Janice also sneaking his research. The research that they ordered him destroyed so he could never build another time ship.
Guess what? We're building another fucking time ship.
And takes it to Earth.
Yep.
So a time ship.
The plans for a time ship are on Earth.
So he may make another one that people we know will find.
Get it, Sam.
So here he's like, I doubt I'll succeed. The council will be watching him like a hawk. Clearly he does. So Janice has blocked off all the addresses. Only Earth can dial Atlantis.
Oh, I love it.
So we will be safe.
Talk about faith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She says thank you, and he actually thanks her as well because it gives him hope and knowledge that Atlantis will survive another 10,000 years.
Yeah.
And that Weir and her people will discover it. And after a peck on the cheek, she watches as Janice and the last of the ancients leave Atlantis, leaving Weir Prime alone in the city.
Love this shot.
At the pan out.
This is where you kiss Janice, you just go full on in. You're not seeing another human possibly for the rest of your life.
And she sets the city to slumber, and she steps into the stasis pod. Jesus Christ.
Stasis pod.
Beginning her journey home.
Damn. Let's take a minute, okay?
Yeah.
And actually consider the strength of character that it takes to do this. You know that you're going to be alone completely alone.
Yeah.
With no human connection for the rest of your life.
Well, okay, so
and the rest of your life, I understand that you're asleep for most of it, but
yes.
still.
Well, here's my thing. Here's the thing going into it. And this is the part where I don't know if she fully had knowledge of how the aging process would be.
Sure.
Because in theory, part of your brain can convince itself, I'm going to go to sleep.
Mhm.
I'm going to wake up for a day or two.
Mhm.
I'm going to go to sleep. I'm going to wake up for a day or two.
Mm.
And then when I wake up a third time, there'll be just a duplicate me and the rest of my people will be here.
Yeah.
She isn't, I don't know if she woke up and went, oh shit, I'm now 60 the first time.
I mean, how long had it been the first? It was like 3,000 years.
It was 3.3 thousand years and 6.6.
So there had to have been some aging that happened.
But that's what I'm like saying, because how many questions would I ask if I'm going to go into this in terms of, if I just hear I'm going to go into stasis, I may, in my head, not realize I'm going to be slowly aging.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be frozen and I'm just going to wake up.
Yeah.
Because that's what, honestly, most of the time you see in science fiction films.
Yeah.
And at that point,
none of us really think about what it's like to be asleep.
Yeah.
Without dreaming.
Yeah.
Like it's like
it's just passes. Wake back up.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like in my head.
I think my brain just blue screen.
Restart it.
Oh God. Okay.
So in the present, Weir tells her that it worked. The city was saved. The life that Weir gave, the reason, the goal that Weir gave her entire life for, as worked. And Weir Prime is like, I didn't give my entire life.
Damn.
We're the same person. The best part of Weir Prime's life is just beginning in Weir. She's exploring a new
brain.
She's exploring a new galaxy. She is years ahead of her. She tells Weir to just trust herself. All that matters is right now.
Fuck.
And she wrote the note in case she didn't survive. And she's like, did Rodney figure it out? Each one of those gate addresses is an outpost with a ZPM. And as Weir wakes John and McKay up to tell them that, at the exact same time, we hear and we see Weir Prime die with her mission complete. On the balcony, Weir has Weir Prime's ashes in the pot that John gave her, and she spreads some in the wind over the city that she helped save, or single-handedly saved.
I want to make it clear that when my ashes get spread, spread all of them. Unless y'all want them for some weird craft project, please do not put me up on a shelf somewhere. Just unless you're gonna we're gonna take this and turn it into like some sort of rock or something. Yeah, fine.
No, I'm gonna make you into a D20.
I like it.
Yeah. So, Kaylee. Okay. So John comes out.
Let's take a break.
Kaylee, sweetheart. Kaylee. Hey, you almost made it the whole episode. Kaylee, come on. Kaylee, you almost made it the whole episode. Come here.
Come on, baby.
Come here.
It's just too loud. That one was too loud.
It's fine.
She's so big.
You almost made it the whole episode, little girl.
We'll pick it up from after the D20
It's
talk.
fine. You almost made the whole episode.
You okay? You're big boys.
So, John comes out. They're going to start their mission briefing. And Kaylee, Thor! Come here. Come here.
Thormageddon.
Come here.
That's right.
Can you lay down and stay there?
Kaylee, get
You want to come under here underneath? Yeah. Go there. Now lay down.
Good girl.
Lay down.
Good girl.
This is the best video part. Lay down.
Kaylee, get it.
Lay down. Hey.
You know why? Because
Thank
her and
you.
Stormy are the other ones that bark out the window.
Yeah. So John comes out. They're going to start their mission briefing.
Yep.
Weir's like, I'll be right there.
Mm-hmm. Give me like a minute.
And she goes, actually, just give me some time.
Yeah.
And she looks out over the city.
Yeah. She's learning. I love this episode.
I knew you would.
I love this. Okay, so I think a lot of people think about this, so it's not so crazy and rare and special. But that idea of like be where your feet are. I
Yeah.
may have even talked about it here.
I think so.
It's something that I do my best to live with.
Yeah.
To the point where mine and Jesse's song is
Mhm.
not a song about being together forever.
Yeah.
It's literally the name of the song is I like the way this is going.
Yeah,
Meaning
yeah.
this right here is good.
Exactly.
Recently we had to do these things for work where we had to pick our song, what our bio song is.
Yeah, like
And
I can pick a single song.
Yeah. And I chose Paul Simon's The Obvious Child because to me there's a note of just be here now.
My favorite is how you were able to pick a specific song.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you noticed what I put down.
Yeah, you put it in the entire
I just put the entire Hamilton soundtrack.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean there's a theme there.
There's a theme.
I narrowed it down to like 10 and then picked one. But
Yeah.
this one felt
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Because of that idea. It's like the past is in the past. This is what here is now.
Mhm.
Whatever I've done then, whatever I'm going to do next, it just is.
Yeah.
So just be here.
Mhm.
Which is almost like the opposite of time travel thinking, like to be always present.
It is.
But it's also exactly what time travel's about.
But there's also this theory that
And also the doctor kind of teaches us that too.
it does.
He's like, I have the ability to go everywhere. I'm telling you right here, right now is the most important moment right now.
And I've gotten, I had a discussion somehow with someone recently. I don't remember who it was or how the discussion formed, but it was this idea that there's not necessarily a time that is the present.
Yeah.
There is, because as soon as a moment happens, it's already in the past.
Yep.
Especially the fact that with how we interact, unless you're actually touching something, there is always, it can be the tiniest, minutest of a microsecond moment,
Mm-hmm.
but it takes time for light to reach our eyes. It takes time for sound to hit our ears. So everything we're interacting is technically in the past.
It's like the past, the now, and the future is maybe the more appropriate way to think
and
of it.
the now is
a combination.
And the now is something that you can't measure. It's so instantaneous, it almost doesn't exist.
Yeah. So that's the moment that we're trying to grab. That's the magic that we're trying to hang on to. And honestly, for those of us who work through anxiety or deal with things that if you think on them too hard can overwhelm you, the idea of like, where are these diseases going to take me?
Yeah.
How long do I have?
Yeah.
Which one's next? Am I going to... Yeah, lately I've been thinking about getting tested for the Alzheimer's gene because it's in the family. And it's one of those where it's like, well, make peace with just live this now.
Yeah.
Because that's all we've got. At the end of the day, this sense of humanity is so real, and this world that we live in can be so dark sometimes, but there's a lot to it. So every moment that we have in it.
Every morning that you wake up alive, you've kicked death in the
face.
Yes. You told death to fuck off another night.
Yeah. Hey, not today, motherfucker.
Exactly.
It's just this idea. It just, you can pull at it too hard and it can be scary. But if you look at it just right, it's very soothing.
Yeah.
Just exist. Just exist.
Yes.
And do your best to exist. This is my number one.
Number one?
Number one.
Number one.
I'm debating whether I drop 38 minutes or Suspicion.
I am adding this on my list. I am dropping Suspicion off my list, and I am actually adding it after I'm adding this after Rising. So it's still before 38 minutes.
Yeah. So it sounds like we have similar weak spots. If you've got 38 minutes at the end.
I still love freaking 38 minutes.
Yeah.
So much.
It's good.
Yeah.
Suspicion felt like it was going to take us somewhere that we never actually went.
Okay.
So I'm happy to drop it.
All righty. Keeping the Storm in the Eye at number 5.
Yes. Before I Sleep, Poisoning the Well, Rising, 38 minutes, Storm in the Eye.
Yeah.
Wow, this was deep. I didn't mean to get that deep at the end.
It's all good.
It's been a hell of a week. Be kind to each other.
Yes.
I'll leave it there.
Yeah.
Just be kind to each other.
So for the next couple months, are stick with me and just go with what we say we're going to cover next, because the order of our episodes, we like to bounce SG1 Atlantis, but we don't want to cut up any multi-part episodes, and we have a couple of them coming up. So,
and we're getting to the end of the season,
which is part of why there's some stuff. So,
got it.
The next 2 episodes of SG1, Reckoning 1 and 2, we're going to cover those in order. So the next 2 weeks are going to be SG1.
Yep.
And then we'll cover 2 episodes of Atlantis. They are not a 2-parter, but we'll cover 2 just to stay in order with each other.
Okay.
And then we'll have a single episode of SG1 and a single episode of Atlantis. And then we go into the end of the season arcs. Which SG1 has a 2-part arc, and Atlantis has a 3-part arc that stretches into the beginning of next season. So it's going to be a little convoluted. Just
hang on to your butts.
Hang on to your butts. There's a method to my madness. But if you look at sort of the,
we'll constantly give you a heads up the week before. So next week we are doing SG1.
Yeah, the next 2 weeks will be SG1 Reckoning Part 1 and 2.
Got it.
Yeah.
Next week we'll see you with SG1 Reckoning Part 1. Until then,
and those,
be kind to each other. And
rewind.
We love you guys, and find us on Twitter at Terra Podcast.
Facebook at theresnoplaceliketerra.
Email us at theresnoplaceliketerra.com.
Patreon / theresnoplaceliketerra.
Like us and rate us, review us on Apple Podcast or wherever else you stream things, if you can find us on other things.
And we will see you next week.
Okay,
More
bye.
shenanigans. Bye.